Yo, 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 Coach Tally Adams, football guru, and welcome back to Football Guru Counterpunch. Bang! First, I want to say thank you all for coming out and taking a look at my episodes, even if you made a mistake, and it went to your page while you were strolling through. Thank you for making a mistake to come look at me. But do me a favor, man, and love, like, and hit this, take a little second, man, hit a button, man, give me let these things add up and give me a love, man, support me. Show me some love. It don't take much to hit the little button, so, and also on YouTube, man, subscribe. You can go to YouTube and subscribe, man, just hit that button, man. It ain't gonna cost you nothing to hit the little likes on the social media and hit the little love button on the social media and subscribe for me, man. Just give me some kind of love. I appreciate that. Well, what an episode I have for you today. Well, today I'll be talking about one of the steals of the draft that I feel like we were going to be looking back later on, and we're going to say, man, that was a great pick. And I believe that one of those picks is Jimmy Horn Jr. out of Colorado, wide receiver, explosive dude. He really explosive. It reminds me of Ted Ginn Jr. So if you don't know who Ted Ginn Jr. is, man, I want you to look him up. And Jimmy Horn Jr. Looks exactly like him to me. I do my homework. I study really hard, and I feel like they have the same style of play. They both are very explosive. Jimmy Horn is great out of the breaks. When he's running routes, he's great out of the breaks when he's exploding, going vertical. Once he gets the ball in his hand, he's electric to go to the house at any time. And Ted Ginn Jr. was the same way. And I believe that, he will be used kind of the same way as Ted Ginn Jr. was on vertical routes, reverses, punt returns, kick returns. And Ted Ginn Jr. was really great at that. And I think that Jimmy Horn Jr. will follow in a lot of those footsteps that Ted Ginn Jr. did. That was very explosive. I hope that, he doesn't bounce around like Ted Ginn Jr. did, but I believe that Jimmy Horn Jr. has it. I think he has a gift. Slipping all the way to the 6th round, was, probably very difficult for him, knowing that, he was better than all those receivers there. But, God don't make no mistakes. And I feel like it happened for a reason. And it just made him even more hungrier. The guy has always been a guy that's not been scared of competition. He likes competition. He repeated, himself saying, hey, he used to go from neighborhood to neighborhood and race kids as a child and, beat everybody. I mean, that's competition. That's loving competition. That's loving to win. The man's been a track kid in college, winning the 4x4. As a gold medal at the state championship as a senior at Sanford Seminole High School in Florida. He also won the long jump, so as a gold medalist at the state championship. So you're talking about a guy that's very explosive, a guy that loves to compete, a guy that's not scared. He's also a receiver that can come across the middle and goes up for the ball with his hands. He's very tough. He's a Florida kid, the talent that comes out of the state of Florida. He won a state championship in high school in football as a senior at Sanford Seminole High School, winning an 8A state championship in football. The guys was scoring every Friday night. Every Friday night he was scoring. It was #1 in Central Florida in football. It was real deal, and he was one of the biggest reasons why. Even though that they had some talent on their team, Jimmy Horn was that guy. Out of high school, he went to University of South Florida. He was recruited by several schools, but he chose to go to South Florida. And after a brief second at South Florida, he went to Colorado with Deion Sanders. Coach Deion Sanders went over there, and the rest is history, man. And he jumped on the scene in college football, and he lit it up. And I believe that he's gonna, now that he's in the NFL, he's gonna be a pick that we look back at in a couple of years, and we're gonna say, man, this was a steal. It was the Carolina Panthers' last pick of their draft. You know, they didn't have a pick in the seventh round, and their last pick was Jimmy Horn Jr. And I believe that, you know, that's going to end up being you know, he's going to fall in some categories that I'm going to name that, you know, I do my homework, and I feel like he's going to be in one of those categories. I mean, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was drafted in the fifth round by the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, and look what Tyreek Hill turned out to be. You know, winning MVP of the whole entire NFL. Stefon Diggs. You know, Stefon Diggs was picked up by the Minnesota Vikings in the fifth round, and you see how that turned out to be. How many contracts he signed and multi-million dollars that he signed. You know, Marquise Colston was drafted by in the seventh round by the Saints. You know, in the seventh round, and we look what he turned out to be, the monster he turned out to be, and I just believe we're going to be looking back at this. You know, T.J. Houshmandzadeh, you know, signed with the Bengals in the seventh round, and look how that turned out to be. Amazing, you know. So, you know, it's just sometimes these draft picks that get slipped through the cracks, or you know, scouts make mistakes too. They make mistakes. General managers make mistakes, and sometimes you evaluate somebody higher than somebody, but you don't know the heart that they have. And Jimmy Horn has that heart. You know, there's a big time heart. You know, back in the it was a receiver, Steven Johnson, out of, you know, played for the Bills. You know, he was picked in the seventh round, and he turned out to be that guy. So I just believe that, you know, this pick we would look back at this pick and we would say, man, that guy should have been picked up a little sooner, a lot sooner. You know, I at least felt like he should have been picked up by, you know, at least third round. But, you know, that was my evaluations. I have my own evaluation. I'm the football guru, so I have my own evaluations of what I feel, and I feel like this was missed by a lot of teams. And I'm not just saying that because he played for Deion Sanders. I'm not coming coach Deion Sanders. I'm not saying that because he played for Colorado Buffs. I'm the football guru, so I talk about all teams. But I do feel like this was a miss. I feel like it was a steal. I don't feel like it was the only miss. I'll talk about some of those on the next couple episodes that I'll be talking about, or some other misses that I felt like the NFL, a lot of teams missed on, waiting so long to take that person. But this was definitely one of my top 5 that I wanted to talk about, that I feel like that we'll be looking back at in the next 3 years and saying, man, they should have took that guy. You know, he has a lot to play for. I mean, his dad is, you know, locked up, and you know, he loves his dad, and you know, we've seen the documentaries of it, and dad loves him, and he's trying to set it up. He's gonna set that thing up for his pops, man. You better believe that. You know, when his dad gets out, it's gonna be set. So the man has other motivations, man, that's gonna make him go, make him tick. You know, besides, the man is hungry. You know, we can see already that he's staying out to practice, you know, catching balls through the juggle machine. And I mean, he's there, man. He's not just there just to say that he made it to the NFL off a draft pick. I mean, he's there to show people why they should have took him. He's there to try to get that big time contract that the receivers get. And I just believe that, you know, he has the gifts, he has the speed. I mean, even through the draft, you know, he finished through the gauntlet, you know, with was a 19.81. So he had the fastest time going through the gauntlet. So I mean, numbers don't lie, man. People do, you know. And the man can run. The man is explosive, and his game tape is just even more explosive than he is just running around. You know, he catches the ball and he separates. And he separates from you in a hurry. You're in a hurry. And he's going to pull a lot of hamstrings of people trying to go get him. And that's why he reminds me of that Ted Ginn Jr. It reminds me of him. You know, I'm pretty sure that you know, he's going to make his mark on kickoff returns and punt returns in the NFL. But I definitely believe, you know, soon enough, and maybe even in the first game, And I wouldn't even doubt it, that he breaks that starting lineup at the slot. I do believe that, he will be in there fighting. I'm not saying that he's going to come out starting game one. I'm not telling you that. But I do believe that he will be back on the kickoff returns. I do believe he'll be back on there on the punt returns. Even not both, at least one. At least one of them he'll be back on. He's a very explosive guy, very tough kid. And, you want to see the ball in his hands. But I definitely believe, man, by at least game 4, he'll break that lineup. He would break that starting lineup, and he would get in there. And if not by game 4, man, it'd be sometime throughout that year. He'll break that lineup and he'll become a starter. And that's my beliefs. I'm a football guru, so I'm here to give y'all my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys got to say on the bottom about Jimmy Horn Jr. But like I said, I'll be talking about some more players throughout my episodes, so who I felt like could have got picked up earlier. But this guy's definitely an explosive, man. He runs great routes. He has good hands. He goes over the middle. I mean, he's a mismatch for linebackers. Nickel's gonna have to come with it. It's just the man is a great receiver, and I felt like he should have went at least by the 3rd round, but he slipped into the 6th round. Was really amazing to me to see, because I know the game, man, and I studied the game real hard, and I know that he'll be a kid that we look back at later on, and signing one of these big time contracts in the next 3 to 4 years, and we're gonna say, man, that guy was picked up in the 6th round. He was the last. When people go do their homework, they're gonna say, wow, he was the last pick of the Carolina's draft. Can't be faulting Carolina, because nobody else even picked him. So Carolina, they at least did they due diligence and picked him up, man. That's awesome, man. And I'm happy to see that they did pick him up. And man, big ups to Jimmy Horn Jr., man. I believe in you. I believe that you're gonna be a top wide receiver in this NFL, man, in the next coming years. And I believe you're going to do some great things this year. And you're going to open some eyes, and you're going to show people why you should have been picked up earlier in the draft, man. For real. Your toughness, man, is unbelievable, man. And you're playing for more than just you. And I can see it. I can see it, man. You've been a winner. You've been competing. You're not scared to compete. You competed everywhere you went. You won everywhere you went. And you're a winner, man. And I know exactly what you're going to do when you get there. So if you see this, man, big ups to you. Big ups to your family and all that, man. And go be great. Go be great. So, all right, everybody, man, I hope you enjoyed my episode today, man. Like I told y'all, man, hit the little button, man. Hit the little like button. Hit the little heart button, man. Ain't going to cost you nothing to do that. Subscribe to my YouTube page as well, man. Check me out, TA Football Guru on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Also, Tally Adams on Facebook, and Football Guru Counterpunch on YouTube. All right, baby. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Man, it's been awesome, man, that you guys, if you stayed with me this far. I appreciate you, man, for checking me all out. God bless you. I love y'all. And see y'all next time, man. Coach Tally Adams, Football Guru. Football Guru Counterpunch.